Hey guys, it's Miss Gadino here. I am here to share with you all some directions for this week's literacy lessons on our second week of digital learning. I am so proud of all of the great work habits I saw last week from my whole class, and even though we don't get to see each other in person, we are so lucky that we have really cool technology that I can teach a lesson and show you guys on the computer. So today I'm going to go ahead and get started by showing you guys our literacy lessons for the week with some directions. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down to our assignments today. Today's digital learning day 6. When you get to your assignment page, you'll see our literacy, our math, and our science or social studies activity. So today, this week is really fun. So I can't wait to show you guys what lessons we have. So I'm going to start, and really this video is focusing on our literacy lessons this week. We are going to be doing kind of like a project where instead of turning in one assignment each day, we are not going to turn in our assignments until Thursday. We're going to do a little bit each day, and it's going to be kind of cool. So I want to just show you guys how that's going to look today. So you'll go ahead and click on the activity, Comparing and Contrasting Nonfiction Texts. So what I'm going to do today is kind of just read through the activity with you guys, and I'm actually going to teach you from the computer. So I thought that'd be kind of cool to show you guys how I would teach this lesson. So here's our lesson for today. So when you open it up, you'll see today's date, and this will be our job for Monday. Okay? So let's read together. It says, we have been reviewing how to find the main idea and supporting details of a nonfiction text. So last week, that's really what we worked on, and that's something we've been reviewing. So today, we're actually going to learn how to compare and contrast two nonfiction texts on the same topic. So today, you will watch me. I'm going to read the first text and collect information about what I read. Okay, so for today's lesson, the majority of it, you're just going to be listening and watching, kind of like if we were in class and we were doing an I do, where you would watch me and kind of think about the ideas that you have. So let's review. We looked at the words compare and contrast before in school, so I kind of just want to review what they mean. When we ask what does it mean to compare, when you compare, you tell how two things are the same or how they are alike. And you guys do such a great job finding things that are in common. When you contrast, you tell how two or more things are different or unlike each other. Now, when you talk about comparing and contrasting text, you want to think about how are the texts the same or different. So you can think about how are the topics the same or different. What about the main idea? The details or information I find in the text, how are those the same? How are those different? Think about the text features and the purpose. Why did the author write one text versus why did another author write a different text? So today I'm going to model how we can compare and contrast two texts on the same topic. So we're just going to begin today, okay? So today I'm going to begin comparing and contrasting two nonfiction texts that have the same topic. So here's the text I'm going to be reading today. It's called Life in a Desert. Okay, so you can see it says teacher text. Later, you're going to read this text, your student text, What Can Live in a Desert? Now, already by looking at these two covers, I can tell that they have similar topics. I see that they're about the desert, and more importantly, I'm noticing the word life and live, and I see animals on the cover. So I know that both of these are already going to be about living things in the desert, or life in a desert. So today, I'm going to read the section titled The Animals from my text, Life in a Desert. So This is coming from this book here. It's just a part of the book. I'm going to read a section today. The animals. So I already see really cool photographs. The first one is a fennec fox. Look at those ears. Whoa, those are huge. It kind of looks like a fox that we see around here with the fuzzy tail. It also looks kind of different. And around it looks different than where we live. And it looks really dark. Then I see this other photograph. I'm not even sure what this animal is, an oryx? That's pretty cool. Look at those antlers. Those are huge. I also see this area around him or her looks different than where we live. Pretty cool. Now I'm going to go ahead and read the text. Desert animals try to avoid extreme temperatures. Avoid. Desert animals try to avoid extreme temperature. Oh, to stay away from extreme temperatures. So they don't want to be around the temperatures. Nocturnal creatures hide underground during the day. Oh, they must hide to avoid the temperatures. They come out when the sun goes down. Other animals rest by rocks and plants. They find shade and cover from the wind. Oh, so after reading the text on this page, I'm noticing that this must be a nocturnal animal, and he must be hiding and avoiding the sun by coming out at night when it's cooler. And then this animal must be an animal that's resting by rocks and trees to stay in the shade. Very cool. Oh, look at this animal. Desert wood rat. Oh, that looks cool too. Oasis. Oh, that looks like a nice place to be. And this is a dromedary camel. We learned a little bit about camels. And there's one more. Very cool. Animals struggle to find water in the desert. It usually comes from plants, insects, or other foods. Sometimes there is an oasis. Oh, okay. And I think this animal is getting his water from a plant. Some animals live on stored fat from their tail or hump. Camels can go weeks without drinking water. Oh, so we've talked about that word stored, there's multiple meanings of that word, like you go to the store. But remember, this means they save it. So this animal's living on saved fat. So this must be saved, and there's some like water in there. That's pretty cool. So now, friends, I've already filled out part of a graphic organizer. Now, tomorrow you're going to have a job to fill in one about your text. So that's why it's blocked off for today. Now, I typed this in yesterday thinking about what was my text one? What were some important things I read in that text, Life in a Desert? So I want to reflect on what I just read. What is the topic? Well, the topic of that part for when I just read was desert animals. Okay, that's what was uncommon. I saw that over and over again on the pages. That was my topic. Now, really, it wasn't all about desert animals. When I think back and I look back at my text, I'm really noticing, what did the author want me to know about these animals? I want to really think back. So I noticed this fox is nocturnal so he can stay cool. This oryx hangs out near trees so he can stay in the shade. This desert wood rat is getting water from this plant, and sometimes animals go to the oasis. But this camel, since there's no water in the desert, he has to use his fat stored on his hump. So I'm really making a connection, and I'm noticing that the author wants me to know that desert animals have different ways to survive or live in the desert. I don't think that my dog or cat could live in a desert. These animals have special things that keep them alive in the desert. That's interesting. So that's what that was mostly about. Now, we've done this before with our box and bullets, thinking about what are the details that support or are connected to the main idea. So I found some in the text that help me understand the main idea of how animals have different ways to survive or live in the desert. The first detail I found was nocturnal creatures hide underground during the day. I remember that from this part of the text. The second detail I found that connected to the main idea was that some animals live off stored fat from their tail or hump, just like the camel. The last detail I found that supported the main idea, the picture on page 2 shows an oryx finding shade under a tree to keep cool. Overall, those things connect to show me that the author wants me to know different ways animals survive in the desert. Now, the text features that the author used, obviously we saw a lot of great photographs. I noticed bold words, labels, headings. Those are all important text features that the author included. Now, you guys are going to get to take a brain break today by clicking on this really fun video. I'm not going to click on it. I'll let you guys look at it when you go through. And I want you to watch. This is actually a really fun video about scorpions. So these are cool animals that live in the desert too. So after you watch and have your little brain break, and after you've watched this video and go through it on your own, it's your turn, okay? So you have 2 jobs to do now that you've listened to my lesson. The first job is to read the pages from your book titled, What Can Live in the Desert? So remember, this was my book. Today you're going to read a section from your book. After that, you're going to go back to eClass and answer the question in the discussions for reading today. And don't worry, I put a link there for you. Here's your questions. What was something interesting you read in your book today? Do you have any questions about the work we did today? So this is a good chance if you're not understanding to let me know, and a good chance to share something that you thought was really interesting when you read your book. So here is your book. I'm not going to read this. This is your job to read. But as you read, think about the topic, the main idea, the details, and the text features in your book. This looks cool. I might read it later on today. Oh, now I see that this says Tuesday. Today is Monday. So you are not going to be doing this until later. That's what I meant when I said this week was a little bit different. It's kind of like a project. We're going to do a little bit of the lessons each day. So now that you're done watching my video, you're going to click back. You can kind of go back on your own and review what we did together today. Then your job is going to read the pages for What Can Live in the Desert, and then go to your eClass to answer your discussion questions. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to the lesson. It was really fun to get to teach you guys. I definitely miss us all being in class and doing these things together, but I really can't wait to see what you guys learn and share with me what was something interesting you read from your book today. It looks really cool, so I hope you guys enjoy it, and please let me know if you need any help or have any questions. See you later.